Got another video here with another round of Trumper cards. In the last video, I showed some really awesome pickups I got recently, including finally tracking down Victor Trumper's rookie card. Got 2 copies of that, one with the tab, one without, and then his second year Phillips Skinny Gold, which is also very sought after. So was really happy with those, and had a pretty decent Trumper collection. At least I was starting one, but I really took that forward in a big way with the recent order that I got in. So I wanted to share that with you all. Starting with 3 cards that I like a lot. The one on the left here is a Wills Capstan. I want to say this one's from 1905-ish, which is a nice card. This one here is more like a 1909, 1910. That's the Vice Regal. And then this is the 1907, which I already had 1 copy of up here, but it was part of the deal and thought that was a nice copy to pick up. So those were the first 3. So there's actually 2 of these cards that look kind of similar, but I think they're maybe a year apart. To my knowledge, they're both Australian releases. If anyone knows differently, let me know. But this is a card I had really wanted to track down for a while. I actually got a copy and then it ended up just kind of getting lost. So for some reason, I just really love this card with the multicolored hat. I think the background's really vibrant, and for some reason, I just really love it. So I was able to track down that one and the blue cap one in this deal. So I was really happy to pick that up. Let's take a look at the backs of those. So similar back as well. This has a blue back and this one has a green back, but really similar cards. If anyone knows the history of those 2 cards or those 2 sets, I would love to see that in the comments. Some other nice cards I picked up. Another one of the 1909, 1910. A couple more of those. So seeing that, there's actually 4 here total. So you've got 2 of the blues and 2 of the reds. But the interesting thing is you get different backs with these as well. So you get the Vice Regal back like that, but you also get the like this one has that capstan back, and I have this one that has a Vice Regal back. So anyway, pretty interesting to see the different backs on those. I also picked up a number of different black Ogdens. So obviously already had this white Ogdens, which I was really happy with, and then the Phillips Skinny Gold, which looks a lot like the Ogdens. But you'll see that there's actually some variations. There's this one, which says 49 Trumper. This one says 49 Trumper as well, but you can see that these are actually different cards with different font. And the 49 is different as well. So that's further to the left. This one is more kind of scrunched together. So anyway, there's a lot of different variations. Stephen Fleming, who's become quite a legend in cricket collecting circles, he gave me a lot of information about the different Ogdens releases. There's many different releases, and they really span, the black Ogdens span from, I want to say 1899 or the earliest, and they go all the way through 1905-ish. So there were a lot of different releases. This is a cool card. This is it says McLaren's team. So this is around the turn of the century Australian team, and Victor Trumper's in this picture, as well as the rest of the Australian test team. So yeah, and then you've also got this one here that doesn't have 49 there at all. And then this is the F series, which is with a completely different pose. So a lot of different black border Ogdens, which I really enjoyed those cards. So I was happy to pick those up. Lots of cool stuff there. A really nice 1911 Wills. This is the capstan back, but you can see there's a little bit of chipping on these, but that's really common with these. This is one of the nicer copies of this set I've seen. I think there's some kind of, I'll have to examine that a little bit more, but there's some dot there, but otherwise a really nice one. This is a card I didn't have, pretty rare, Milo cigarettes, and you can see some of these actually have writing on the back. I'm going to see if I can, gently smudge some of that away with a really good art eraser. If anyone is an expert at that, I've heard that it's quite common to do that with these old cards. It makes me really nervous because, you're talking about a card that's 120 years old. And, the pencil on there makes me a little sad because I think, someone wrote, let's say, $35 on this. There's no way that this was written, in the olden days. This card was not worth $35. This was definitely written in the last 10 to 20 years. So just kind of sad that someone would, basically graffiti on a really old card like this. But hopefully it'll come off, or at least mostly come off with an eraser, which will make me happy. All right, what else did I not talk about? This is the B. Morris. This is actually from 1925, so this is a very late issue Trumper. Yeah, and actually, this is after he died as well. So that's not one of my earlier ones, but still a nice card to have. And then this is the 1903 Wills. So this is the Australian Wills issue, which I already had a couple copies of this, but this is an upgrade for me. The other ones I had, were in pretty bad condition comparatively. So nice little upgrade there. Now moving on, you might have seen that I had shown this a little bit, but really happy to pick up some more Bradmans. Really sharp condition on these. This is the Allens, which I believe these are 1934-ish, and this is the 1932-33 Phillips, which I did have this card, but definitely not in this nice of condition. So both of these are pretty nice. Sharp corners, and the Allens a lot of times will be in really poor condition, so it was nice to pick those up in really nice condition. This is the, I want to say, 1930 Adventure. So this is a really kind of rarer card. Actually, all these ones are kind of rarer Bradmans. And there's different backs of these. So this is the Griffiths. There's the Cruising Toffee, the Black Crow's Cough Drops. I want to say the most rare is the Black Crow's Throat Drops. But these are all very rare. Like if you look in the Jody Bridges Bradman book, which, by the way, there was a really good YouTube video that was posted recently that goes through the different Bradman issues and the rarities. And it actually has a link to the Jody Bridges book that you can actually get a PDF of it, which I think is just insanely nice. So please do check that out. Do a search for Bradman in recent videos, and you'll see. And subscribe to that channel. It's a really good channel with a lot of good information on it. But yeah, so that's a quick rundown of some of the Bradmans and Trumpers I got. But I'm saving the best for last a little bit here, guys, because whoo, check that out. This is a fairly rare card. So in Jody Bridges' book, this is rated a rarity of 6, which, I'd say 90% or 95% of the cards in that book are more like a rarity of 1 to 4. So 6 is one of the rare issues. It does go all the way to 10. So like this is not the rarest by any means, but was happy to have the card, but really happy to have a hand-signed Bradman card. And in this deal, I actually got 3 Bradman signatures. So this is not a great condition card, but this is the 1932 Sweet Acres. And this is of definite oddity. So the story is the gentleman who I purchased these from, when Bradman was still alive, he actually sent this card to Bradman and said, "Hey, what do you think of Trumper?" Basically just asking for his opinion on Trumper, and you can see the back is pretty poor on this. And basically Bradman, I don't know if he what he thought, but he took the card and he signed it. So this is probably one of the only Bradman side Trumper cards in the world, which is just kind of an oddball thing to have. But I just thought it was a really cool piece and was just happy to add it to my collection. So I've now got 3 signed Bradman cards. Well, I guess 2 signed Bradman cards and the Bradman side Trumper. So I was really happy to pick those up. I did want to go over a few more purchases I bought recently. I got some of the 1974 Sunny Crust. The Bob Willis is really, a nice rookie. And this was a fairly nice condition version of the card, so I was happy to pick that up. Here's a very poor condition of the Derek Underwood rookie. Probably the worst condition card I've ever bought, but I think it was like $2. And then this is actually a really nice condition Rod Marsh, other than the fact that the bottom got cut off. And then Ian Chappell and Greg Chappell. So I don't think I actually had those. Those are not rookies, but they're, some of the earlier issues of the Chappell brothers. And this is a really nice set, kind of hard to get in nice condition. So getting an Ian Chappell in decent condition and Greg Chappell I thought was just pretty cool. Got some Sadahara O baseball cards. So these are from Japan in the 1970s. For those that aren't familiar with baseball or international baseball, Sadahara O is actually the all-time professional baseball home run leader. He never played in the major leagues, but he hit over 800 home runs in the Japanese league. So just a real legend over there. He has much earlier cards, but these were actually my first cards of his, so I was happy to pick those up. And I want to go through a few more here. Len Hutton is a player I love to collect. In the last video, I showed some of the signatures of his I picked up. I also got this card of his from 1946. But he's got a couple rare rookies that have this same pose, which I just love this pose. These are the Allens. So these are from the same years as other rookie cards. These are 1938. And I got 2 of the Steamrollers and 1 of the Allen's Irish Moss. So I think those are pretty neat. This one in particular is a very sharp copy. So that might get graded at some point. But then he's got this other rookie from 1938, which I think is probably one of his most desirable rookie cards. And this is the same brand as Bradman's most famous 1928 rookie, which is the Hoadleys. So this is, again, the 1938 Hoadleys. I just love it. I love that pose. And then the other big rookie from 1938 is Dennis Compton. So he has a Hoadleys rookie as well. So picked up a couple of those, as well as a few of the Allens of Dennis Compton. And I did not actually get, so it's interesting, with Hutton, I got 2 of the Steamrollers and 1 of the Irish Moss. And with Compton, I got 2 of the Irish Moss and 1 of the Cutie Fruit Drops. So I'm not really sure which ones are most rare. I think they're all fairly hard to find. So I didn't really care too much about the backs, but just kind of interesting. And then I did also, I think, show this last video, but got a couple Compton signatures as well. And then this is the Dennis Compton, the Islands version, which you can see has a different back. Someone in a different video was asking, hey, how do you know what the Island version is versus the regular one? I'd say 95 to 98% of them that you see will have this right up at the top and the bottom. And that's the normal version. That's a very common card. And then this Islands version one is the very uncommon one. It's very, very low print compared to the normal one. All right, and then one last hurrah here. The 1965 Scanlens set is an extremely sought after, scarce set, especially in nice condition. That is a nice Lance Gibbs rookie there. Much, much nicer than my other copy. So this is definitely going in my PC. Rohan Kanhai, again, pretty nice copy, but look at that signature. So signed rookie card from an all-time great from the West Indies. I did not have any Ian Chappell from this set. This was a huge pickup for me. And I got a signed one, which is just Super cool. Very, 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 very thrilled to pick up a signed Ian Chappell rookie. Also got a signed Jeff Boycott rookie, which I had, again, a copy of this card, not in the best condition. So this is pretty much dream come true for me to get not only great condition, but great sign condition. And then Wes Hall, I actually don't have his rookie. He has one earlier card than this that I know of. And I didn't have this card either, but I thought, you know what? Like, if I don't have his rookie, I at least need to pick up his second card, or the second one I know about. So grabbed this, was happy to get it. So now I've got an early Wes Hall card as well. And then I thought this was a cool card as well. It has 2 Hall of Famers on it. So you've got Richie Bernard, and then you've got Ted Dexter on it. So anyway, thought that was really neat. And then also picked up, a few more of the Indian Sashin cards. And then Harry Brook, right? Has anyone been following this guy? He's just an absolute dynamo. And picked up some of his rookies. Base cards, pretty common, like probably very common cards. But just thought, for someone who's really emerging on the scene, he hasn't played a ton of test matches yet, but he's averaging like 80 runs per test so far in his career. And I think he just had the first century this year in the IPL. So just really performing well on multiple stages, and thought I just wanted one of his cards. And there was actually a seller who had 6 of them. So I just bought 6 and saved on some shipping costs that way. But I actually like this card. This is the first one of the cards from this 100 set that I've had, and I'm actually pretty impressed with it. It makes me more interested to get more from this set. Look at the sheen. I think it's pretty neat. So that was a long video, lots of cards to cover, but hope that you enjoyed it. I couldn't be happier, guys. I've now got signed Bradman cards from his playing days, and I bought these, from a very, very, very reputable collector. I wouldn't even call him a seller. He's a collector who just happened to be willing to sell me some cards. So very, very confident that those are authentic signatures, and yeah, just very, very neat. Always happy to add to my collection. What were your favorite in this video?